Hey guys, this is Captain Frugal reporting for duty for the comic books review of December 21st, 2022. So let's sit back and enjoy. Alright guys, for all of you who are familiar with the show, I go over the top comics and the bottom comics and all of them in between with a grading system of 1 through 10. A 7 being average, because like grade 70% is average. This week I read 12 books. I just want to say these thoughts are my own. You might not agree with them, and that's okay. If you disagree, that's okay too. If you hear this noise, that's my pages, my notes, because I'm too old to remember all this stuff anymore. So anyway, I give the top 3, the bottom 3, and all the things in between in no particular order. So let's start today. This week, you know what? I think I'm going to go with the top 3, so that way you can rush out and get them before the snow all hits in your area if you have snow or whatever. And I hope, by the way, you have a wonderful Christmas season. I hope you enjoy it. All right, here we go. My number 3 of the week was Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, number 7 of 7, the final issue of the series, and I gave it a 7.4. Now, let me get my notes here of why I thought that. Well, first of all, I thought it was solid art for most of the issue, but there are a few panels I did find a little bit odd, a little wonky in this particular book. This is an ending that does tend to leave a lot of questions, so it's not really a clear-cut ending where DC, once again, sort of leaves himself a room to continue the story. They seem to be doing a lot of these mini-series lately and just continuing them on and on again. And, you ready? We have a new Justice League team coming up. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Only time will tell, but it looks like we've got none other than Dick Grayson, probably going to be an integral role in that. So it also looks like it's, as I said, establishing a new story. So not a bad issue. 7.4 out of 10. All right, my number 2. This one has continuously been making me happy, but I'm still sad because they canceled the TV series. It was probably the best, in my opinion, of the DC TV series. Maybe that and Superman in a close running, but it's Stargirl, The Lost Children, issue number 2 of 6, and I gave it a 7.5. Nice art style for this story. I really think there was a good art style for the story. I like it. And there's a search for the missing sidekicks in this issue. It's really cool. It's like, what? Where did these characters go? Nobody knows. Nobody remembers them, but they're on the hunt for them. It is a fun and interesting read. So if you're like me and you're sad that Stargirl on TV is gone, this is a good way to go. But you know what? I hope this book does really well, because I would love to see them actually do a good Stargirl series and continue to write that. Not just these miniseries, which those have been good, don't get me wrong, but I'd like an ongoing of Stargirl. Great character. Needs a lot. It has a lot of room for exploration and growth there. And my number 1, I can't believe this once again, is Batman Superman World's Finest number 10. I gave it a 7.6. I'm not a Wade fan. He's done a lot of damage, but this has been really good. His Batman Superman World's Finest has been good. Now, boy, what can I say? This book has some pretty dark panels in it. And so it's not exactly a bright and cheery story all the way through. Good art by Dan Mora. And it's a nice way to, how do I put this, to do a twist on, telling some of the past and then taking us into the future to have a better idea of what's going on. I like where this series what it's been doing and where it's going. I'm enjoying it. Have you been? I would like to know, because maybe it's just me. Now, not just me, but I want to thank all these other people too. These people you see here, say thank you to all of them for supporting the channel through Patreon and Subscribestar. By doing that, they get special videos that are just for them. They get special music content that they can use, listen to, or even use it on their own videos as they wish, as well as some additional bonus things too, and eventually giveaways and things I throw up on occasion. And by the way, sometimes I put up some products there. I have some pictures, and I'm going to do another one soon too. Or if you want any of these products, just let me know. I will get them for you dirt cheap, because my second business is allowing me to help support some others too as well. All right, that said, let's hit the bottom of the bin. Yeah, let's hit the bottom next, and then we'll hit the middle of the road. So my number 3 at the bottom of the bin was Nightwing number 99. Yeah, Nightwing number 99. Yep, here's my papers rattling. You hear that? I gave it a 7.02. You're going to find there's a lot of point somethings, and that's because it makes sense, because 7 is average, and we have, the average of the course, there's going to be more of them. It's the average. So anyway, 7.02, it's a simplistic cover, but I like that cover. I think that's a cool cover. Simplicity in this case worked. The story was nothing special though, but not bad. And it's decent art, so you can see how it really falls into the decent category. Alright, my number 2 from the bottom. This one surprised me. This one I expected better. The series has been pretty good, but this one didn't do it for me. And that was Flash issue 789. I gave it a 7.01. The art's decent, not the best art for this book, but I think the story is anticlimactic here. It's just, I don't like where it's going. I don't like where it's been for this little bit here. So, I don't know. And on top of that too, the rogues are awesome, but do we really need to keep making all the villains turn hero all of a sudden? It's like, I get it with Flash. It makes a little bit more sense as a continuation of what him as well as Spider-Man does, but it seems like it's being done a lot. And do we really want all of our good villains to be gone? I don't. And I don't know. That's just, once again, me. And my number 1 for the bottom, the turd in the punch bowl, if you will, the slot at the party. And that's Avengers Forever number 12 with a 6.9. This series has been disappointing me right from the start, and it continues to do that. It's decent art. There's a lot of action in this issue too. But this Avengers Prime thing, pretty lame. The All Rider, because we got to make all the other Ghost Riders less to make this one more. Once again, crappy way of doing things, lame. And the story's been slow. This particular issue is very slow. It doesn't really move it very far, so it doesn't quite even get the average score. It's only a 6.9. Alright, so now let's look at the ones that didn't fall into either of those categories, the top or the bottom. And the first one is Deceased, War of the Undead Gods, number 5 of 8. I gave it a 7.05. It has mediocre art. That's one of the things there that hurt it a little bit. And it does have an interesting story though. So, not terrible, but could be better. My next one would be, gotta go to my next page here of notes. Here we're ready. And that's Batman vs. Robin number 4. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Decent art. And some of the panels though in this was really sloppy. You'll see ones like Batman looks fat. And why continue the story in a different issue? When this one ends, it's like, oh, get this now to read and continue. This is a miniseries to begin with. It should have all been in the miniseries. Why do we have a spin-off series to tell more of a story that was in a miniseries? I just don't get it. If it's a 5-issue miniseries, make it 6 and include that instead of making you have to jump to another one and then come back to this. It just does not make sense. So it's an okay story, but nothing special. And that ticked me off though with go read this and then come back to this for the final issue. It's already a miniseries, should have all been self-contained. That's my rant there. Feel free to feel differently on that one. And you can be wrong too. Alright, my next one is DC vs. Vampires All Out Wars, number 6 of 6 with a 7.1 out of 10. You know what? This is a cool cover. But it doesn't really provide a real ending to this. It's a very stylized art style in this issue too. So if you like this kind of art, it'll work for you. If you don't, it might be a turn-off for you. In my opinion, it's a fun read. And I didn't really care for the secondary story in this issue very much though. So deal with that as you may. But as I said, it doesn't really close it off. But they've been doing that with these kind of vampire things. Each is another chunk probably. That way they can sell them all in trade. I've been enjoying it. Not the best, but pretty good. Alright, next one. This one, I don't know. This one has really got me on the fence here if I'm going to continue reading it or not. But I'm not giving it a terrible score. And that's Gold Goblin number 2, 7.03 out of 10. It's got good art. It's got a decent story. And I hope Norman goes bad. Don't get on me now. I want him to see him go nuts and bad because, once again, we only have so many good villains. Heroes need a good villain. And if we don't have good villains, we're not going to have good stories. And to lose Green Goblin to become a hero, you can see a struggle here, and that's cool. I like seeing the struggle he's having. Maybe that can be used to develop him to even a better villain. I don't know. But that's my thoughts. I'm not a big fan of him turning good. All right, next one. This one, great cover, might say, is Mary Jane and Black Cat, number 1 of 5. Another miniseries of these two. I gave it a 7.04. Good art, very good cover, fun story, but I will say the dialogue in some areas is a little bit cheesy. You know, it is what it is. We got Black Cat going, I want to be with Peter again because he's alone now, but yet I promised Mary Jane I wouldn't. I got a news flash for you. Mary Jane doesn't own him. He's free agent. If she doesn't want to be with him, go for it. That's what I say. Give Peter some happy Peter love. All right, with that said, the second story in the book, in my opinion, was just okay. It's a little fun laugh to her telling a story of how she stole Dr. Doom's mask. But I'm not going to go any more detail in that because I think you should probably get this issue and read it because it's a 7.04 and it was not bad. Let's give the Black Cat some support as well as Mary Jane. And my last one I'm going to be reviewing today is Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt, number 2 of 5 with a 7.06. Once again, it's Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt, number 2 of 5, 7.06. Has a really wicked cover on this one. I really dig this cover, but I'm not a big fan of the art style inside the issue. It's okay, just not the best, but it's okay. But it is an interesting story. We've got a psychological story that's more than just psychological, and I don't want to dive too much into it because I think this is one you should give a shot to. Let's give this miniseries, it's only 5 issues, so if you're a Spider-Man fan, you probably should be checking this out. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you don't mind, once again, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you want to help out the channel, once again, we have a Patreon, a Subscribe Star, where you can join for just as little as $1 a month and get extra stuff. By the way, I even put up video game playthroughs and things like that, some cool arcade stuff. Just the goal is to bridge the community with music, games, comic books, all this stuff that we tend to like. And I like you. I like you to be around here, and I like to hear your thoughts too. Well, thank you everybody for your time. Until next time. You know what I'm going to say here, don't you? Of course you do. Keep it frugal!